Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and I am sorry about not being here Monday and Tuesday, but I have been in a world of WWE, and I've been catching up on like 25 plus years of wrestling stuff. So I just kind of popped out of my hole, realized it was Wednesday and that I have not put out a video, so here's what we're getting. Today we're going to talk about one of the movies that made my top 10 favorite movies of the year. Not best, because they're not necessarily the best, but this is one of my favorite films that I feel like not a lot of people watch, not a lot of people remember it coming out, but that would be Colossal. Colossal stars Anne Hathaway, Jason Sudeikis, a couple other people. I think Dan Stevens is one of them. I might be wrong on that end of it, but basically this movie is, I'm going to be very vague about what this movie is about because I don't want to give anything away. Anne Hathaway is a character who finds out that she has some kind of commonality with this big monster that is kind of destroying Seoul, Korea. And basically about her finding out, exploring that, and figuring out what to do about it. So already the plot is like really different than what we've seen, and this is kind of one of those original movies that everyone keeps asking for. You know, they're tired of the big blockbuster movies, tired of all the sequels and reboots. We want original movies. That's exactly what Colossal is. So I'm begging you guys, please try to see this movie. Currently, it is on Hulu. If you guys have that, you can probably rent it on Redbox or obviously on iTunes or any of that kind of stuff. This is worth the money, I think. I think most people would enjoy this movie. It is a movie that really plays on your expectations of a regular story and just twists it, and it's great. And it also brings you this character, I don't remember her name exactly, but played by Anne Hathaway, who she starts out as a little bit unlikable. You know, she kind of feels like she's a little bit stuck up, that she's kind of driven herself into this hole where she's now using drugs and alcohol to kind of deal with her issues. She got fired from her last job, and so she spins out of control. Her boyfriend kicks her out of the house, basically, and she goes back to her hometown, lives in her old house, her mom and dad's house, and they're not living there. She kind of just decides to stay there because she has no money. Then she meets an old friend, Jason Sudeikis' character, and you think exactly where this is going to go, how this might be like a redeeming thing for her, and then it twists, and you're like, okay, so this is going to happen, then it twists again, and then you're like, okay, this is going to happen, and then when you finally figure out that it's kind of this movie that likes to play on your expectations, you still fall for it at the very end, and you're just like, okay, well, they're going to reconcile. Nope. Does not happen. And so it's just like, it's really a fun movie that you cannot guess the end of at all. And by the end of the movie, you are definitely rooting for Anne Hathaway's character, for sure. And a character that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to root for at first. But she turns out to be the most sane person in this whole world, basically. And she's also a strong female lead character that we're all asking for. And while it's not, a strong female like superhero character, but she is kind of a superhero in her own right in this movie. And I think that kind of gets lost in the shuffle, that she is incredibly strong. Yeah, she has issues, but she tries to deal with them. And she tries to do the right thing. Whether or not it works out all of the time, who knows? And then you've got Jason Sudeikis' character, who is a character that really doesn't get talked about at all when reviewers are talking about this movie, which I think is sad because his character is the most twist and turny and is kind of just this person that you would never expect Jason Sudeikis to play because he kind of has his certain shtick he's very good at. And I like how he kind of went out of his comfort zone. I like how they make you feel about him at first to how you feel about him at the end. I think that's awesome. And I'm being really vague because I don't want to give any of this away because I know most people have not seen this film. Like, I don't know one person who has seen the film besides me that I know of, which is very sad. I really wish that the studios would really try to back these types of movies, which they did a decent job, but it did kind of get lost in the shuffle, I believe, with all of the stuff coming out around that time. I think Colossal would have been a perfect February pick, like at the very beginning of February, after the January kind of stink month that it is, and you go into February, even though you did have, obviously, you had like Split came out in January, and a couple things came out in February that were very good, but I feel like this could have really hit well at that time, or even, honestly, probably would have hit well in like beginning of September, too. But I would probably put it in February. And I think it came out either March or April. And March was a stacked month in 2017. Like, every week something crazy was happening. And then April was a little bit slower, but it did have Fast 8 in it, which really was kind of ruling the airways. And then we went straight into May, which had a lot of stinkers, but still a lot of stuff was coming out. So it just kind of got lost in all of that. And I feel like this is a movie that could definitely live on the Blu-ray side and really thrive that way. Kind of like an Edge of Tomorrow in a way, how, you know, not really anybody saw it in the theater, but it kind of got a really good cult status during its, when it got released on DVD, Blu-ray, all that kind of stuff. I feel like Colossal could be that if it gets pushed a little bit better. I'd like to see it go on Netflix. I think that'd be a perfect home for it because I feel like that's kind of where a lot of people get to see these indie-type movies like Sing Street. And honestly, I do think that this is a movie that I would recommend to pretty much everybody. Maybe not like young kids, obviously, because I think it might be rated R. Or PG-13. It's probably PG-13, and then it has a couple of cuss words in there. But I would recommend this to anybody. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Obviously, I put it in my top 10 favorite films of the year, so there you go. Okay, everybody, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. What are your thoughts on the movie, or have you seen the movie, or anything about this movie, really? Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday. I will promise to try not to forget that is Monday or Tuesday next time. Sorry, WWE has really sucked me in, and I want to go to WrestleMania now. Okay, bye.